We're here with Dr. Sidney Fallon, who is one of the people very instrumental in bringing us the wonderful concert the other night, Wake Up Ypsilanti with A.R. Rahman. Sidney, can you tell us how this magic began to happen? You know a little bit about that, I understand.
Yes, it all started actually about, a few years back. A gentleman named Srinivas Krishnan started a group called Global Rhythms. And the idea was to have college students learn international music. And through that music, begin to understand other cultures. A couple years later, he met A.R. Rahman on an airplane and talked about what they were doing at the University of Miami, Ohio, Srini and their choral director, Ethan Sperry. Around the same time, I heard about Global Rhythms, and my husband at that time was working at State University of New York, Potsdam, and we talked about it and invited Global Rhythms to perform on our campus there. Srini came a week before the group came and worked with the Crane School of Music students. It was so exciting that some of the students then performed with Global Rhythms. Srini then arranged for me to meet Mr. Rahman, and the three of us went and met with Mr. Rahman, talked again. Srini had been talking with him about peace, harmony, world understanding, and young people. And at that meeting in February of 2005, 2 dates for 2 benefit concerts were agreed upon. One of the dates was April 15th, and ultimately we came to Eastern Michigan University, and the concert was held here. The second concert will be next weekend in Dayton.
One of the things I noticed was the Miami University students who were doing a wonderful job performing the Indian music, and it was kind of an interesting disconnect because it sounded Indian, but I'm looking at a blonde. And so that was just remarkable. And also the people who came to the concert were predominantly Indian, but not exclusively.
Well, that's right. One of the exciting things was watching American students speaking and singing in Tamil and in Hindi and in English, and understanding and feeling the rhythms of the music. And that's all part of what we're talking about, is getting familiar with another culture, getting to understand the sounds. Part of what happens, I think, in the world is people are afraid of each other because we don't understand each other. Things sound strange, foods taste strange, smells smell strange, spices are different. And, not only do they sing in Hindi and Tamil, but they eat Indian food, and they're learning about the culture through the films. So that was very exciting. And the other thing is, while a good percentage of the audience were Indian because they know these stars, there were also many Americans from the different cultures in America. And what I've been hearing the last couple of days is that Americans who were sitting next to Indians were so excited because not only did they see a wonderful concert, but they met some new people. And the Indians who were sitting next to them were explaining the songs. They were telling what they meant, where they came from. And the last song that Mr. Rahman sang is almost, it's not the second Indian national anthem, but it is a song that talks about Mother India and has been bringing people from all around India together. The hope is that through this project and others like it, we'll bring the people not just all around India together, but all around the world.
One of the interesting things about the concert was Ypsilanti Mayor Cheryl Farmer gave a key to the city for Mr. A.R. Rahman, and I had never heard anyone explain a key to the city quite the way she did. Can you tell us a little bit about how that happened?
Well, we gave her a call and said that Mr. Rahman and this team was coming here, and the purpose of coming here was to open doors, bring people together, and one step at a time begin to make the world closer. And she said, let me see what I can do, and called back a little later and said, we would like to give Mr. Rahman a key to the city. The keys, the purpose of the keys, she can express eloquently, and maybe we should get her script. But basically it talks about giving someone a key that opens the doors, opens the walls that were put up for protection. It's a symbol of trust and togetherness, and certainly Mr. Rahman deserves that. None of this could have happened without three teams: the team from India, the team from Ohio, and the team from Eastern Michigan in Ypsilanti. The team in Ypsilanti that related primarily to the concert, that we could never have done this without our Cheryl Swanson from the Convocation Center, Gayatri Penmesta, and Tom Stevick from the Advancement Office, the EMU Foundation. And the other component is the academic piece, and without our provost, Don Lopnow, that wouldn't have happened. And as a result, Shaker, who you saw, did a master class with the strings. Vasundra Das showed the movie Monsoon Wedding, and with the Women's Studies group talked about issues in India relating to women, and she also talked about the life of a film star. She's involved with Richard Gere in the AIDS program. Great inspiration to the young women in our institution to look at how they can use what they have. The second largest ever grossed movie in India is now Rang de Basanti, and it's still growing. It could top the first. And that director, Rakesh Mehra, is here, and tonight he's going to be presenting the film and a dialogue about it, and it has to do with young college students and a young woman who wants to make a documentary, and she's not allowed to for her newspaper. She's from Britain. She goes to India. She makes this documentary, and these happy-go-lucky college students take their roles and end up really becoming political and wanting to change the corruption in the country. So and he'll dialogue about that. There are just so many. I don't even know how to express this. I want to make sure that everyone understands that the artist came here, Rakesh came here only for his lodging and meals while he's here. We didn't even pay his airfare from India. All of the other artists and guests have come for absolutely not one single penny for their fee. We're taking care of their travel arrangements and accommodations, but they are giving of themselves for 5 days.
It was really a remarkable event, and the whole thing has been remarkable, and you've just done an amazing thing to bring it all to us. Thank you.
Well, thank you. And there were three teams. We've talked about, who they were. Certainly the artists, Srinivas Krishnan, Ethan Sperry, Chris Joshi from the Joshi Foundation, who helped support this. And then the members that I mentioned on our campus, and hundreds of others who jumped in. And certainly this never would have happened without my husband, President John Fallon, who was behind it, and actually not just behind it, but right with it all the way, even through the point that at one point he was washing Mr. Rahman's clothing for the next event, because they have been traveling for over a week already to do this.
Well, I can't think of when I had so much fun at a concert, and the fun continues. I know they're here for another few days with classes.
They're not only here for another couple of days, but Mr. Rahman was called away. He offered to come back this Thursday, but it's the end of the semester, so we didn't think the timing was right. So he has offered to come back this summer, spend an entire day on our campus with our students and our faculty.
What a privilege. Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you.